Remember, you can always visit us at neweracap.com to shop our latest selection, including our limited edition and exclusive drops. New Era Cap, the official on-field cap of Major League Baseball.
To find your next great hire, visit Indeed.com/credit.
Will be instantly in to win airfare for two people to anywhere. It is not a reason to give. You give because you understand that Air One is trying to change lives in the name of Christ. Okay? With the worship songs and the conversations. But you give right now because, hey, come on, man. It's okay to be a Christian and an opportunist. You're listening to Air for two to anywhere. Come on, LA. Come on, New York City. The great state of Texas. Denver. PDX, stand up. You're listening right now in Nashville, Tennessee. This is your moment. $15 a month. 50 slots. You do not want to miss out on this. I'm telling you what, time is running out for your Air One. We're not funded. The number one more time.
888-937-2471.
Of death. We can help stop the spread and end this pandemic. Get vaccinated and wear a mask when it can protect you and others. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Health.
And the Mortgage Radio Show on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 has the most reliable and accurate information to save you big dollars now. Sponsored by Network Capital. Call 800-700-8068 for your no-obligation quote.
Save time and money. That's why you'll find the same great prices at Rayleigh's.com as you'll find in store. Stock up and get the best deals when you shop our weekly sales. Like this week's locally grown first of the season holiday red seedless grapes on sale for only $1.97 a pound. And get delicious Foster Farms whole fryer chicken for just 97 cents a pound. Enjoy fresh seasonal ingredients at an amazing value from your neighborhood Rayleigh's and Bel Air.
Of inspiration, motivation, humor, relationship advice, and even astrology. You can choose to listen to one or all of the daily Good Risings offerings available on our feed. It's the perfect daily practice for anyone looking to lead a more intentional, mindful, and inspired life. Listen to the Good Risings podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton at Big C Sports. Coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C, and a lot of good boys around the country, even my friend Myra Gomez from Mexico. Really appreciate you being on yesterday, bringing us information from the San Francisco 49ers. It's all fair and love and war. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. You can buy and test drive your Tellem Charlton and Big C Central, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars. Also, all around the world, Big C Sports is powered by 17 podcast applications and 4 TV applications. You can follow Big C Sports on #1 Google, #2 Alexa, #3 Spotify, #4 Spreaker Podcast, #5 Apple Podcast. You can follow #6 iHeartRadio Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Castbox, #8 Deezer Podcast, #9 Podcast Addict, #10 Pod Chaser Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Geo Savan Podcast out of London, England. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast on Podtail Podcast, Podcast Addict, Hubhopper, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Online Podcast, and Luminary Podcast, as well as same Big C Sports Podcast. You can follow us on TV on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Better have a smart TV, or you won't. If that makes sense to you. I love doing the Ancestry.com. I play family. I do my family legacy. Mamo, the matriarch of the family. Pop, he played Negro League Baseball, the patriarch of the family on my mother's side. Then my beautiful grandmother, Muddia, she was a seer. She could see things and tell you what's going to happen before they happen. Also, my grandfather, Hezekiah. And then my beautiful mother actually started a Head Start program in Central California. Give us some praise. Come on, give us some praise. Also coached us to the championship of our Little League Baseball in this all fair and level war. Really appreciate that. On my father's side, the patriarch is Albert Curry, owned 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Also was a pastor and really appreciate that. The matriarch on my father's side is Alberta Curry, kept everything in line, all square and level. Where my father, retired Air Force fighter pilot and chief mechanic in the United States Air Force, is all square and level. Where I channel my brother Todd. That's where I get that loud voice. Sounds like a thunderstorm going off so much. Todd would say hello. It's all fair in level. Where really appreciate that. As I say, let's get ready to rumble. Really appreciate the introduction from the great Myra Gomez, an international sports broadcaster, and she's bilingual. Very, very appreciate that. Why is Big C Sports Podcast Espy nominated by Disney Corporation, the Ryan Matthews? I always say no scripts, no three-way teleprompters. People say, yeah, that's painfully obvious, Charlton. No teleprompters, no producer in my ear telling me what to say. Only thing in my ear is a little bit of earwax, and I'm going to keep it in. It kind of keeps me warm in the wintertime, if that makes sense to you. Also, I get stats from my son, Malcolm, who helps me nearly every show. At times, my daughter, Daisy, in the past, helped me set up at sporting events in Big C in the past. I always, number one, I produce every show. I've never, ever missed a show at Big C Sports. I produce. Number two, I direct the topics. Number three, I broadcast every show. I do all the sound effects. Excuse me, did I break your concentration? Or guess who's coming to dinner? I do the commercials outside of what the agency does. Really appreciate that. Getting a lot of commercials followed Big C Sports Podcast. I do all of the stats providing. The Giants are going to really want me to pat their stats, if that makes sense to you, because I really want those World Series tickets. I do believe you're going to hold up the Dodgers. I do the play-by-play. Touchdown, home run, three-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. All fair in level war. You may have to be an old-time Oakland Raider fan to understand old man Willie when he ran an interception back for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So I upload all my podcasts. They go up to 17 podcast applications. I don't do the uploading. It's done by the agency because people all around the world are following Big C Sports. As you heard, we have one of the largest, the best bilingual broadcasters. Yesterday, the great Myra Gomez. Really appreciated her. You can follow her doing NFL football in Mexico, also over the United States as well as Major League Baseball. I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports, September the 12th, 2015. Really appreciate that. All fair and level war. Now we have sponsors up the wazoo. What is the wazoo? Someone said it's a nice place. I thought wazoo was a ride at Disneyland. I didn't know it was the backslide, but I love paying honor to God. Every show I say one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible. In Genesis 13:15, the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. Another great verse. I really encourage young people, old people too. The book of James, chapter 4, verse 2. It says, you have not because we ask not. So we have not because we ask not. So ask. I love asking, and I will always ask. And that's how Big C Sports Podcast came to fruition. I'm also asking still that $10 million. I know it's on the way. Really appreciate that. Talking to the agency today. You just got to rise and shine. My mama always said that since I was a little boy. Just rise and shine. Don't worry about who's rising and shining with you. You rise and shine. I will always rise and shine. On the Veterans Crisis Hotline, they really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. Everybody knows somebody who's gone through something. Our military have been through it. That's why we all have our freedom. But sometimes they're all messed up. If you know anybody going through any kind of issues, they are experienced in helping veterans and their loved ones. That could be you. It could be me. 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net, and you can get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. Give the Veterans Hotline some praise. That's right. Give them praise. They do a great job. Also, very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Universe TV at the first place. San Francisco Giants, can they hold on? Can they hold on? Because I really need those World Series tickets. It is easier to walk through the stadium than it is to hitchhike down to Los Angeles. If that makes sense to you. It's all fair in love and war. I really want to say when you reach out to them, just tell them Big C sent them. Our goal is simple. We want to recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers all over this great country to help people get houses and refinance their home loans. It's all fair in love and war. We have the Big C dating app for houses. Because houses, they get lonely too. Unlike those knuckleheads you meet online that date 45 people every month, if you just happen to be one of those 45, they don't tell you that. You don't know where they are after you lip lock it with them. You can lip lock on somebody You can even go to the motel, hotel, Holiday Inn with them. At the end of the day, you don't know where they are. But with the house, you know where that house is. That house would never leave you. It will never forsake you. It's always there when you come home. If you don't forget the way home, if that makes sense to you, get your houses need love too. Go to BigCSports.PACWM.com. You can find out about real estate going on in the country with the Big C team. Again, looking to hire 10,000 real estate agents and brokers all over this country to help people purchase and refinance homes because houses get lonely too. We do it just like McDonald's does it. State Farm is doing it. We have Nike's doing it. Car dealerships doing it. Watch TV and real estate work for you. 800-772-8624. If you're looking for opportunities in real estate, just go there. BigCSports.PACWM.com. It's all fair and love and war. I want to say thank you to Xfinity. Hold on a second. People said, Charlton, are you sure that houses are looking for love too? Yes, nobody wants an empty house. How do you feel when you walk home and you got an empty house just sitting there on the internet searching for love? Swiping left and swiping right. Houses should not be lonely. You don't want a lonely house. No more lonely houses. There was a song called No More Lonely Hearts. I want to make sure really that we fill up every house so it's not lonely. You don't want to be alone. Neither does a house, if that makes sense to you. BigCSports.PACWM.com. Again, I want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Yes, just like God said in Genesis 1:3. Let there be light. Open your cell phones and say, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see our applications pop up all over the universe. Really appreciate that. Also, this segment is sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on your game. It goes great, sports fans. When you eat the Big C burger, it's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meats. With all the exotic meats. Myra Gomez from Mexico, she says she wants to make her own Big C burger. I tell her she can't make it because the recipe is the secret. You ever have a secret? You don't give out secrets. It's all fair and level, but it does taste good. Coming to Mexico any time. Hopefully by the end of this month, the Big C burger will be offered in Mexico. It is a tasty burger, and it comes with all the exotic meats. They'll be seeing that down in Mexico also. Really love what's going on in Big C Sports. I also want to say thank you, Super Draft Pro. Everybody's into fantasy sports now. Super Draft Pro Fantasy by Caesars Entertainment. It's an all-purpose website. Yes, give them some praise. Go to superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports. All these sports fans featured in Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, Associated Press, RotoWire, Sportico. That's Big C Sports, the Big C team. Subscribe to unlock your exclusive fantasy games and sports betting experiences anywhere in the world. It's so important. Go to Super Draft Pro, the official fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment. You want to find out where it is? Go to superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports, and you can get in on some of the sports betting that's on all over this country. Man, I'm so excited about today's show. A lot of things going on. From Friday Night Lights, we're going to hit some college football, some NFL football, got some Major League Baseball as well. Also, a lot of things going on. Taraji drops 39 points. Give that woman some praise. WNBA basketball is fantastic. It's all fair and level war. I really do appreciate high school football. We have the two biggest games, or the two biggest programs in high school football. They're playing tonight. And they're actually, if you think about number one in the country, Modern Day High School of Santa Ana, California, they are playing number 3 in the country, that's St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California. They're both in the Trinity League. So that game is in Southern California. Would you believe, for high school football, I know you want to give them all some praise, their tickets going for $350. Or what kind of high school kid has $350 to hand out for a high school game? They're not all being recruited by Alabama. If that makes sense to you. High school kids having $350 for a high school game. So I'm looking forward to it. If you look at St. John Bosco and also Modern Day of Santa Ana, they've been winning so many championships, national championships in the last 10 years. Those two schools have combined for half of all the high school football national championships. And when you think about how good these programs are, since 2016, between Modern Day and St. John Bosco, they've had 150 players get D1 scholarships. 150 get D1 scholarships. That's amazing when you have that type of success for high school programs. So give them all some praise. Also, Northern California, De La Salle of Concord, California, is still the number 1 team in Northern California. They lost the first game to a Northern California team since 1971. They lost to St. Francis of Mountain View in the last 16 seconds of the game. I think it was 28-24, but that team had that loss since 1991 in the North Coast Championship game. They're playing St. Francis, another St. Francis, this time of Baltimore, Maryland. I believe both teams are ranked in the top 20 in the Big C Sports high school football competition. It's all fair and level war. So those are things I wanted to hit out for your high school football, making sure that those high school kids, they understand that we're not just here to give you college football. We always want to give them some praise. I always have a special PSA for my high school friends. Please, as your officer is saying, touchdown, we got spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit. How about you? Will you say all that jazz? Please make sure that you do not allow your friends to drink and drive. I know everybody wants to have fun. I know everybody wants to say, our team is bigger than your team. Our spirits are sky high and all that jazz. They want to have all the cheering going on. But let's help young people get off on the right foot. Please, no drinking and driving. I know a lot of guys and gals want to get out there and have fun, but you do it a lot better when you're safer. If you know anyone that's trying to drink and drive, please tell them don't do it. Take the keys, call a friend, call their parents, whatever you do. Don't let them drink and drive. That's coming to you from Big C Sports Podcast, because we want to cheer you when you walk through the home of your parents' house. It's all fair and level war. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what's going on in the world of college football. And my goodness, there's some big games coming up this weekend. In the words of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, former California governor, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 17 podcast applications all over the universe and 4 TV applications. Is all fair and level work. I want to jump right into it for college football. There's a lot of good football being kicked off this weekend. I'm going to start number 14, Michigan, at Wisconsin in the Big Ten. When you think about it, it's a noontime kickoff on Fox Sports, also Fubo TV. You can try that for free. Now, given what I've thought about these two teams, probably figured out which direction I'm going to head in. I think for a long time, Michigan has been one of the Big Ten's marquee programs. And think about this. It's been a while since Michigan has won in Madison, Wisconsin. This is going to be the toughest test the Wolverines have faced so far. It's their first road game. And when Harbaugh says, who's got it better than us? Hopefully he can say that after the game if you're Michigan. The Badgers' offense has played too poorly. And this Michigan defense has been just too strong, in my opinion. They're as good as Penn State, and they're as good as Notre Dame, and they suffocated already a lot of quarterbacks this season. Wisconsin may try to keep it close because they're at home, and that stadium can be rocking. The crowd will be going nuts, but I think Michigan and Coach Harbaugh, who's got it better than us? I'm going with the Wolverines to beat the Badgers. In fact, this segment sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meats. Last I checked, a Badger and a Wolverine are exotic meats, if that makes sense to you. Only getting at the Big C Burger. I'm not giving up my secret. I'm going to go to another game. And this game has big on big written all over it. The number 7 Cincinnati Bearcats at the number 9 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, playing like a champion. I know there's a lot of media hype over this game, but there was a lot of media hype also when Notre Dame beat up on Wisconsin. That was at Soldier Field in Chicago. We believe the Chicago Bears are thinking about moving their stadium about 30 miles north, building a new stadium. Yeah, that's amazing, the new Soldier Field. All fair and level war. But Cincinnati at Notre Dame, 2:30 p.m. kickoff on NBC Sports and Fubo TV. There's just something special about seeing this Cincinnati program like the little engine that could, as they're, beat up on Indiana. They're no Notre Dame. I know they're both in Indiana. But if you think about it, Cincinnati, according to the people that want to fool you and take your money, Cincinnati is favorite at Notre Dame. I'll say it again. Cincinnati's favorite at Notre Dame. Talk about a prop bet special, if that makes sense to you. They're going to play like champions. I have no doubt that they will try. But Cincinnati's favorite at Notre Dame for the pollsters. The Bearcats are worthy because based on all the talent they have coming back and the high standards set by Coach Lou Fickell. But think about this. It'll take a team that's rolling in the right direction to knock off the Fighting Irish. This team that plays like champions, they have touchdown Jesus. You really think Jesus is going to let some Bearcats come to town and win? I mean, it's just a thought. The Fighting Irish need to come up with some winning ways. They've been doing it all year long. They play some close games. They even had a blowout game. Some people think it's going to be a close game. But I'm going to take Notre Dame. I don't think they're going to come. And are you telling me in front of touchdown Jesus, you're going to have some Bearcats come in there and win the game in front of playing like a champion? I think not. That's just my opinion. Hopefully I don't. Jesus, do not let me down, Jesus. Do not let me down. You have not, because you asked not. The book of James chapter 4, verse 2. I'm going with Notre Dame and those Golden Dumbs to knock off the Cincinnati Bearcats. Just my opinion. There's another good old boy in the South. I know football is big. It can't get much bigger than number 1 Alabama. They're at home. The crowd will be going nuts. It's an elephant goes nuts at times, and they have a great memory. Think about the great memory an elephant has. It doesn't let anything get tired. Like Nick Saban, he remembers everybody that's been on his coaching staff, and he kicks all of them in the behind, if that makes sense to you. Here's another good boy who's going to kick in the behind on Saturday. You have number 1 Alabama, their host, and number 12 Ole Miss, and that's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on CBS Sports, and the crowd in Alabama will be nuts. They're already tailgating down in Alabama. Tuscaloosa. Don't they have a curfew? Everybody's out tailgating. Where are they going to use the restroom if they're not at home? If that makes sense to you. It's all tight, roll tight. That's my opinion for the game on CBS Sports. The over-under is 79.5. It's the highest FBS game in 4 seasons, and it would suggest that both teams will have plenty of success moving up and down the field. That would be playing right into the hands of Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is not going to beat Nick Saban. You can Google it. All fair in love and war. But think about this. Ole Miss will use up-tempo. Quarterback Matt Corral will have a banner day through the air. And on the ground, this ground game is supposed to be a lot better. It's going to debut deep into the 4th quarter. In the end, the Crimson Tide quarterback Bryce Young, he's a stud. He might be able for a Heisman Trophy if he keeps playing the way he's playing. He's going to make a lot of big plays to win the game in an instant classic in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. As that's what the media is saying. I don't see Ole Miss coming within 21 points of Alabama. I know they got up on the 21-3 against Florida. They said, wait a minute, the prop better said we're supposed to slow down. So they slowed down. And they made it close in the swamp. This is not the swamp. You know, when alligators and elephants get together, it's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? Well, the rebels are going to get chewed up by the elephants. That's just my opinion. You're not going to go in for the 102 crowd, 102,000 at Bryant Denny Stadium and upset anybody. The only thing I'm really upset is a lot of people who thought that Ole Miss would cover. That's just my opinion, all fair and never war. I'm going to take you to another game. It's a big game. Indiana that just got spanked by Cincinnati, the Bearcats. They're at Penn State in Happy Valley. Oh, Nelly. Happy Valley will be happy coming Saturday night. It's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC Sports East Coast time. You can try it on Fubo TV as well. Last season, Indiana took advantage of 4 turnovers en route to their best season in a long time. But this is a different breed of cat. In fact, it's a bear cat. The Nittany Lion. This segment is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. It's all fair in love and war. I think about it. Their points off turnover margins plus 41 ranked in a tie for 10th nationally with Ohio State. Now, keep in mind the Indiana Hoosiers, they played only 8 games last year. This season, the Indiana's ranked 95th nationally with points off turnovers at a margin of -7. They're not as good this year as they were last year. If Indiana can take care of the football, it can hang tough with the Nittany Lions, maybe a half. Unfortunately, you got to play the whole half, the second half against Penn State. And I've seen nothing from the Hoosiers that gives me the confidence that they'll be able to keep up with the Penn State Nittany Lions. And I think Penn State's going to win by 2 touchdowns. That's my opinion. There'll be a lot of happy hooting and hollering in Happy Valley come Friday night or Saturday night. They actually tailgate tonight. It's crazy. Some of these programs are so crazy about sports. I heard people don't even use the bathroom for a whole day. Oh, yes, they do, Charles. They use the bathroom. Okay, they don't have alcohol, so how they hold their liquor for 24 hours? You Google it. You make the call. But I'm telling you, Penn State would be Happy Valley after they beat up on them good old boys come Saturday. Here's another big game. In this game, is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat down in the SEC, where the moonshine is flowing all night long at the great Lionel Richie. They'll be doing their thing all night long in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Them good old boys, number 22 Auburn Tigers. They're at LSU. I'm putting LSU right about 17th in the country. The only loss was a beatdown by UCLA. They lost by 11 points out of the Rose Bowl. And they said, my goodness, you guys sound a lot taller on the radio. That's what the UCLA fans were telling the LSU players. The LSU's going back and they started winning some games, whipping up on some boys. It's a 9 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on ESPN. And down there in that heat and humidity, they're already tailgating. I'm going to take LSU to win this game. They're also going to cover in large part due to Auburn's recent defensive struggles. They were blown out by Penn State, even though the score was a little closer than the game. They were physically dominated by the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now look at the Tigers from the Plains are giving up 6.5 yards per play, and the secondaries are going to have a tough time stopping LSU quarterback. You think about quarterback Max Johnson and star wide receiver Keyshawn Balte. I mean, think about it. Don't get me wrong. It won't be a blowout, but I'm telling you, LSU's going to win this game. I'm going to make him a touchdown favorite because in Death Valley, if a tree falls in Death Valley, no one hears it, doesn't make a sound. I don't know, but I hear a lot of screaming. I hear a lot of hooting and hollering coming out of LSU. And Bruce Order it was a great game, a tough game. Our defense won the game for us. We played physical LSU football. Auburn's not as tough as that team we played like UCLA. Those Brewers were a little bit tougher. They were like real bears. But these Tigers or Eagles or whatever they are, not quite as tough as those Brewers were out at UCLA. All square 11 war. I'm going with a lot of hooting and a lot of hollering coming out of LSU Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as the LSU Fighting Tigers will go on and knock off the good old boys from Auburn. It's all fair and love and war. The reason I love football so much is because it makes you go hooting and hollering. You can hoot and you can holler, and you don't get in trouble when you hoot and holler anywhere in the country. It's all fair and love and war. One of the biggest is more college football games before we get up on the Big C pause. We have number 5 Iowa there at Maryland. That game is 8 p.m. tonight, East Coast time, on Fox Sports 1. Already kicked off. Iowa's favored by 3.5, and they should get it. But think about this. The Hawkeyes are 4-0. Think about that. They have one of the top 5 defenses in the country. And then Maryland, the Terrapins, they're 4-0. They're averaging 37 points per game. Give them some praise. This is the best defensive Maryland has faced to date. It will show up as the Terrapins will struggle to find points. Iowa's a really good team, and I'm have Iowa winning this game. I'm going to say they're going to win it maybe 30-21, and the crowd will go nuts. Even though it's at Maryland, I don't think they can hold up through 4 quarters against Iowa. Number 11, Arkansas. They're at number 2, Georgia. Give them good old boys some praise. They party harder down there in Georgia. Those good old boys are already tailgating. It's a Saturday noontime kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. And Georgia's favored by 18 points. Not so fast, my friend. Georgia's being beat up on a lot of good old boys, but this Arkansas team can play. Ask Texas A&M. I still have Georgia winning this game, but you think about it, Georgia's 4-0, hasn't been tested since its opening game against Clemson. Clemson has only scored like 2 touchdowns all season. So I think Arkansas is a lot better team than people give them credit for. I'm looking at Arkansas 4-0 right now. Georgia's defense is going to be better than what they've seen so far, even in Texas A&M. And Razor quarterback K.J. Jefferson will make some big plays, assuming he's able to play at full speed after sustaining an ankle injury last week against the Aggies. That might slow them a bit, and that's why I'm going to give the Georgia Bulldogs a slight edge. Just a slight edge. When you think about it, they won't go up on big plays. They have Daniels and company will do enough to keep Georgia able to win because, again, Arkansas's quarterback has a hitch in his giddy up, so you're going to have a lot of hooting and hollering down in the South. I'm giving Georgia a 28-21 win over the Hogs of Arkansas, the Razorbacks. Now, I don't want to gross anybody out, but the segment sponsored by the Big C Burger is a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. Don't anybody get mad at me. I know a hog is an exotic meat. A dog? I'm just going to say no comment. Depending on what part of the country in, it's considered a delicacy. Hey, don't get mad at me. I'm not the one to eat them. Some people eating somebody's dog. Don't get mad at me. Some people don't eat cows in India, but I eat a lot of cows. Everybody's different. I tell you another game that's really big on the radar down south. number 9 Florida at number 23 Kentucky. This game is a Saturday 6 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. Now, Florida's favored by 8.5 points. The Wildcats are 4-0 and 2-0 in their conference. And then the Gators are 3-1 and 1-1. Their only loss coming to Alabama. They were up 21-3. And then the prop better say, Alabama, we paid you guys to keep this game close. If that makes sense to you. The Swamp was alive and kicking. Alive and kicking. Well, the Swamp was alive and kicking. And they'll be alive and kicking. And the slugs will be flowing. And all that heat and humidity won't matter. Because they're going to be getting their groove on down in Kentucky. I'm looking at the Wildcats. His name is Will Levis. Has been picked 5 times through just 4 games. That's a clue. The Gators secondary. The Gators secondary is so good. It's so good. It's only snared 1 interception thus far. But they're probably going to get another one this weekend. It could be a low-scoring game. But Florida's offense is legit. Their defense is strong. The crowd's going to be nuts down in Kentucky. They're going to have that heat and humidity. And then who that say they're going to beat these Wildcats? Now, this segment's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger. And it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? Last I checked, a gator and a wildcat are exotic meats. And who's eating cats? I mean, don't get mad at me. People in the world eat everything they want to eat. Don't blame me. I don't know what's on somebody's menu. I'm just saying that should be a good game down in the South. It's all fair level war. That's Big C's. Woo! Big C's college football, bringing it to you. Oh, I love high school football. I love college football. I love it all. But now I really love NFL football. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when we come back, we're going to go, let's get ready to rumble. We got a lot of great games. Some big games in the NFL this week. We're going to take the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. In the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we're back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on 17 applications all over the universe. And I really do appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. I'm going to tell you this segment sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on this game. Also sponsored by SuperDraftPro.com/Big C Sports, the exclusive betting partner for fantasy sports of Caesars Entertainment. Last night's NFL football, when you think about it, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they go to 0-4 and they fall at the Cincinnati Bengals. That was at beautiful Paul Brown Stadium. And can you believe it? The Cincinnati Bengals, they're 3-1 on the season. No one really thought that it would happen, but they're 3-1 on the season. Jacksonville falls to 0-4 with a last-second field goal. It was 24-21, all fair level war, and they have something to cheer about in Cincinnati. It's all fair level war. I'm going to bring it to Sunday. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. The crowd would be going nuts, at least at kickoff, if that makes sense to you. The Washington football team 1-2. They come to calling, and they're at the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams are 1-2. It's on Fox Sports, and when you think about it, it's a 1 p.m. kickoff. I think Atlanta's favored by 1.5. Washington's key to victory, the defensive game plan. It should be centered on getting pressure on the interior line of Atlanta's offensive line. In doing so, it's going to call quarterback Matt Ryan. It's going to cause him to make bad decisions. He's a $150 million quarterback, but they are 1-2 on the season. I don't have a lot of faith in the Atlanta Falcons right now. Matt Ryan and Big Ben Roethlisberger, maybe people are saying, why are they making so much money? All fair and love and war. When you think about it, with the Washington football team, Washington has lots of weaknesses also, especially on offense, but Atlanta's roster has significantly more holes, and this could be a defensive matchup. And if it's going to be up to the defenses, then I'm going to give the win to the Washington football team. I think they have a better defense, especially Chase Young doing his thing. It's all fair and level war. When you think about it, Matt Ryan so far in the season, he's completed 83 of 117 passes this year, 71%. He has 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 707 yards. You throw for 707 yards in 3 games, and you're only 1-2, and they're at home. But I think it's going to be a defensive struggle, and if it's up to the defenses, then I'm going to give, and Big C's thoughts, is going to go to the Washington football team. Going to fly out of the city of Atlanta into Buffalo with the Bills Mafia. They're going to be lit. They're going to say, welcome to the show. Let's get ready to rumble. And they'll bring in the Texans with those big hats. Why does everyone's hat have to be so big in Texas? What are they trying to say? I mean, why do you have such a big hat, man? Don't worry about my hat. Worry about your hat. Well, the Texans at Buffalo, Sunday, 1 o'clock p.m. Kickoff East Coast time at Highland. It's actually called Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, and the crowd will be going nuts as they celebrate the kickoff. It's going to be on CBS Sports and actually 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff. Now, the Bills are favored by 16.5 points. That's too much for an NFL team because the Texans have been playing good football. I kind of wonder when the guys down in Vegas want to think 16, they just had a beatdown of Miami, but to do it 2 weeks in a row, the Texans can score points. That's the only reason I'm not buying it. I want to say, I'm going to say they're going to win, but not to cover. I think about the keys to victory for the Texans. Quarterback David Mills' first career NFL start. The Texans failed to get the run game going. Running back Mark Ingram was Houston's leading rusher with 21 yards. 21's not good. Running back Philip Lindsay had more carries, 7 than yards. He had 5 yards. They got to do better. It's all about blocking. I've never seen any running back that blocked for himself outside of Barry Sanders back in the day, if that makes sense to you. If you think about it, the Bills' key to victory, the Houston defense doesn't have the firepower to keep up with the Bills. When you think about it, Allen's amazing. He can spread the ball all over as running back Zach Moss, wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, and tight end Dawson Knox. You still got to find a way to get the ball downfield if you're the Buffalo Bills. And I think the Buffalo Bills are such a strong passing team. You know, touchdown passes galore for Buffalo in the rout of Washington. We saw that defensively. They're trusting their front four. They don't even blitz a lot. They trust their front four. They're doing a great job of doing that. Stephon Diggs should get a chest in the win also. I know at first I was saying I don't like the point spread being 16, but I think at home they're probably going to cover. So I can change my mind. I can change my mind. I think they're going to be getting buck wild in Buffalo. I think they're going to have touchdown. All fair and level war. I'm going to go Buffalo 35 and the Texans 17. 35-17. So I think they're going to cover the point spread, which is 16.5. The crowd's going to go nuts up in Buffalo. That's just my opinion, and I'm going to stick with it. When you look at some of the stats for the Buffalo Bills, I know a lot of people don't think about too much when it comes to stats, but when you think about it, if you look at Allen, he's won. Think about this: 79 of 127. He's completing 62% of his passes, 807 yards. The stat I like: 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Add 3 more touchdowns in this game coming up. The weekend is all fair and level war. I'm going to fly out of Buffalo into the beautiful city of Chicago, the Windy City, the Detroit Lions, and the Chicago Bears. That lets you know this segment is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all the exotic meats. Last I checked, a lion and a bear are exotic meats. They don't complain. People eat what they want to eat. How can you tell a man, how can you tell Paul Bunyan what he should eat? Not everybody loves fish and chicken. Some people like bears and lions. The Moors in North Africa, they ate lions for like 700 years. All fair and level war. But speaking of bears and lions, it's a Sunday 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports at Soldier Field in Chicago. And rumor has it, the Bears are looking for a site to build another stadium about 30 miles away from Soldier Field. I think Soldier Field is owned by the city. They want their own private stadium so they can do all the merchandising sales like a lot of other teams have done. But the keys to victory, the Bears are favored by 3.5. The Lions have been playing some pretty good football. Man, just give it some thought. Bear with me. No pun intended. Bear with me. I think the Lions' key to victory, while Detroit's offensive line remains a strength, is going to be hard to run on the Bears' defense because they're so good. But there are weaknesses in the secondary that the Lions should target. Quarterback Jared Goff should take some downthrow shots, but if he does, he's going to get picked a couple of times. We know that. He doesn't have the confidence. It should take some downthrow shots. But where they can take advantage of a poor secondary, they'll try, but he'll also get picked off. I think if you look at the Bears' key to victory, Chicago's offensive line had a terrible showing against the Browns. They had the wrong plays called. Coach Matt Nagy had to have some corrections this weekend in practice. I believe they did, and I think that the home cooking will be an advantage for the Bears. They didn't do anything to help the young quarterback last week, but I think you learn from mistakes. As quarterback Andy Dalton will likely be sidelined another week for the Bears. The offensive line needs to get the run game going with running back David Montgomery and take some pressure off a touchdown Justin Fields. You want some touchdowns? You got to get some touchdowns. You got to keep him on his feet. He can't throw touchdowns when he's sitting on his backside. The Bears defense needs a strong pass rush. Outside linebacker Khalil Mack is going to be a future Hall of Famer. And Robert Quinn, they got to force Jared Goff to make mistakes. They got to do that. Watch the matchup between the Lions tight end TJ Hawkinson and the Bears linebackers. I think the Bears win this game. It's going to be a close game. I'm looking at the Bears maybe 24-20 over the Detroit Lions. And the Bears crowd will go nuts. They need some celebration at Soldier Field in Chicago. I want to give you a thought on Jared Goff. Jared Goff is 86 of 123. He's completing 70% of his passes, 801 yards, 5 touchdowns, but he has 2 interceptions. I think he's going to give up another pick in this game. And I'm looking at the Bears playing a lot better now that they have a chance to get Justin Fields in there and get him worked into their offensive lineup. All fair level work. Are you ready for some football? Let's get ready to rumble. Gonna fly into Dallas. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, I said it. How about them Cowboys? Jerry Jones. Why are your cowboy boots so big? Why does everyone in Texas wear big cowboy boots? What are you guys trying to hide? What are you trying to hide on your backside, if that makes any sense? The Panthers are 3-0. The Cowboys are 2-1. Touchdown, Dak Prescott has been doing his thing to the crowds. Oh, the crowd's really happy down in Texas with touchdown. Dak Prescott. Team should be undefeated. Just my opinion, but they gave Brady too much time. It's a Sunday 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports at EA AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. And think about this. The Cowboys at home were going to be a favorite. The line's been bouncing around. The Cowboys are going to have a 3-point favorite going into this game. I think the Panthers' key to victory is the defense has been humming under coordinator Phil Snow. With an aggressive pressure system, loads of talent, the back end will have to overcome the loss of rookie cornerback Jay Horn. I don't think they will be able to. On the offense, Carolina's going to have to function without touchdown running back Christian McCaffrey, who's out with a hamstring injury. You know, a lot of players pull hamstrings. Why don't they just stretch? Can you just stretch the hamstring better? All fair and love and work. The keys to, how about them Cowboys? The keys to the Cowboys saying, let's get ready to rumble. The keys to that victory. Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs will have his hands full shadowing number 1 wide receiver DJ Moore. Diggs has been up to the task thus far. But I think about it, in my opinion, on offense, coordinator Kellen Moore will present his show this biggest test. Carolina's defense is good. They're not that good. They're not as good as Tampa Bay. Cowboys almost beat them. Moore has shown the ability to craft a game plan that attacks the weakness of whatever is schemed against him. You know, quarterback Dak Prescott is amazing. The matchup, the Cowboys running back Tony Pollard, and maybe even Ezekiel Elliott versus linebackers Shaq Thompson. Saw him play in Northern California at Grant High School, also Washington Huskies. The Cowboys will emphasize Pollard more this season, and the speedy Thompson will be Carolina's best shot at slowing down the elusive weapon. Ezekiel Elliott, use him as a decoy. He got his chest in the wind for 95 yards last week. But I think that Pollard's the best running back for the Cowboys. I think Dallas has too much firepower against a team that's without a star running back. And I just think you're going to miss a lot McCaffrey. You don't have him in the backfield. I got the Cowboys. Cowboys 31, Texas 21. And how about them Cowboys? I think they'll be getting buck wild down in Texas, just my opinion. I'm going to fly out of Dallas, go to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. I love Miami. Welcome to the show. Say hello to my little friend. The great Scarface is based in Miami. It's a Sunday kickoff, 1 o'clock p.m. East Coast time on CBS Sports at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. All fair and love and war. The Baltimore, then they move over to Indianapolis. The Colts are 0-3. Indianapolis goes 0-3. A lot of people were saying that they were going to have Carson Wentz resurrect this team. Not so fast, my friend, the great Lee Corso. At the Dolphins, 1-2. Man, they got to get turned around. And bringing in a team that's 0-3 is a good start. I'm going to say this segment sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? Last I heard, a Colt and a Dolphin, they're exotic meats. Eat what you want. There are exotic meats. There's a lot of exotic meats down in Florida. Oh, my God, they got a lot of exotic meats down in South Beach. This game, in my opinion, Dolphins favored by 2.5. The key to victory for the Colts. They got to start with the health of quarterback Carson touchdown Wentz. He's been dealt with multiple lower body injuries in the last few months. If Wentz is less than 100%, And let's get this, he's always less than 100% lately. I think the Dolphins are going to be a good bounce-back game for them. The key for the Dolphins' victory, the Miami offense, it has to continue to be under construction after a slow start of the season with Tua Tagovailoa out with a rib injury and backup quarterback Jacoby Brissett in charge with finding some of the chunk plays. The Dolphins hope to create all of their added speed at wide receiver. They got to get the ball downfield. They got to block the Colts defensive end. DeForest Buckner, got to get him on the ground. And then running backs Jonathan Taylor and Liam Hines and the rest of the Colts running game. The Dolphins defense has to play like that no-name defense from back in the day when they went 14-0. The Miami Dolphins, and then went to 17-0 when they won the Super Bowl. I tell you, watch the matchup, Colts linebacker Darius Leonard versus Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki. And I think the Miami defense has the athletes on the perimeter to squeeze the Colts passing game and force the game into a grind. It's going to be a close one, but I'm picking the Miami Dolphins 20 and the Indianapolis Colts 16. 2016, I think they'll get that win down in Miami that they're looking so hard for. I'm going to fly out of Miami into Minnesota. The Vikings, you like that? You like that? Man, what a win over Seattle last week. Was not expecting that. The Browns are 2-1. The Vikings at 1-2. It's a Sunday 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the Browns are favored by 2.5 points, and I think they will get it if they run the darn football. Quit trying to make Baker Mayfield the star of that team. Turn around and hand the ball off. The Browns key to victory. Cleveland, this is for you. Cleveland, if they get the Bears, I mean, you think about what they did. They were able to get by the offensive line for the Bears and knock out Justin Fields. Defensive end Myles Garrett should be a good matchup for offensive tackle Rashad Hill. Garrett and the rest of the Browns gang, them Bruto boys, the dog pound, they call them roof, the dog pound. The dog pound can get after Kirk Cousins. He may not like that. And they're going to have to blitz him. The Vikings keep the victory. Minnesota's just a few plays away from being 3-0. The Vikings were let down their defense in the opener. In week 2, the special teams let them down. Greg Joseph missed what should have been a game-winning field goal in week 3. Everything went right. But the Vikings running back Alexander Madison played well in relief of Dalvin Cook. The Vikings defense forced quarterback Russell Wilson into bad throws. Cousins had linebacking. I mean, think about this. Cousins, at some point in time, he has to realize that defense can win games for them. I think the matchup to watch for the Browns defensive end, Jadeveon Clowney, and Vikings right tackle Brian O'Neill. Yes, Garrett can beat Hill, but if Garrett is the only one capable of getting to the quarterback, you got to have Jadeveon Clowney come up and play big in this game. I think if you think about this, if Coach Kevin Stefanski, if he runs the ball, get the ball into your running back's hands, they got to run the ball 40 times in this game. They got the best running backs in the NFL. I think the Browns come away with a 24-21 win. If they try to make Baker Mayfield the star of this game, I think the Vikings get the crowd going nuts, and they'll go crazy. And they'll get nuts, the great Prince. You got to get the running game going if you are the Cleveland Browns. Kirk Cousins passing 88 of 119, 74%, 918 yards. He has 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. That good boy is doing his thing. Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, he's 59 of 80, 74% completion. He has 780 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Run the football. If you want to win, run the football. If they don't want to run the football, get the ball to Nick Chubb and Hunt. Them good old boys, 48 attempts, 262 yards for Chubb. Hunt, 29 attempts, 65 yards. And Mayfield's run the ball 13 times, 40 yards. Give the ball to Chubb and Hunt. That's how you win. That's my opinion. If not, you'll be going, and Cleveland would be 2-2. If they run the ball, you get them 45, 40 carries, 45, they'll win the game. They'll go to 3-1. That's my opinion. I'm going to go to the Saints. They are taking on the Giants. The Giants 0-3, the Saints 2-1. It's Sunday 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the Saints are favored by 7. Who that say they're going to beat them Saints? Nobody. They already got the grease flowing down in the dirty South. Or is it the dirty Southeast? Down in the Gulf Coast, they got the grease flowing. All that deep fried food, them good boys, they won't eat it, but they'll give it to the fans. All fair and love and war. The Saints keys to victory for the Giants. Protect the football. It's important to do that. They got a defense with 6 interceptions. Quarterback Daniel Jones has his work cut out for him. Banged up receiving core. There's a lot riding in the hopes of wide receiver Kenny Galladay. and they got to get Shaquille running back, Saquon Barkley running, as he hasn't been running as well since he came back from that injury. All fair and level war. They need defensive tackle Leonard Williams to do his thing. The Saints, their key to victory, can quarterback touchdown Jameis Winston lead a game-winning drive. You know he can throw the football. You know he can throw deep. He can also run out of the pocket. He has to do his thing. I think if you look at the matchup, the Giants versus the Saints, in my opinion, the Saints are a better team in all three phases of the game, offense, defense, special teams, but they have flaws at times. I think the Saints with touchdown Jameis Winston, you got heavy doses of running back Alvin Kamara, control the clock, and feed that defense, let them sit on the sideline. I think it's important to keep running that ball. Get Alvin Kamara to break out. Winston can do his thing too. Touchdown, Jameis Winston. They'll make it happen. They'll get the win. I'm going to say 28, and the Giants probably going to have somewhere around 17. 28-17 is my opinion of that. If you look at Jones, he's 68 of 104, 65% completion, 782 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Things might change. Winston's only 38 of 63, 60% completion, 387 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. But I think he'll throw at least 2 touchdowns in this game, and the Saints will get the win over the New York Giants as they'll get buck wild in the dirty South. I'm going to have the Tennessee Titans 2-1 at the New York Jets. It's a Sunday 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports at MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm going to just say touchdown Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill to Henry, Ryan Tannehill to Julio Jones, Ryan Tannehill to A.J. Browns, and you'll most likely have a win for the Tennessee Titans. What about the Jets? The key to victory for the Jets is hope that you get a lot of turnovers and fumble Titans. Fumble on the play, Titans. Fumble on the play, Titans. They're not going to have a lot of fumbles on the plays. I'm looking at the Titans going to 3-1. Who wins? The Titans have too much firepower. The Jets' overall defense has been solid, but it won't hold up against touchdown Henry. My prediction, Tennessee Titans 31, the Jets 17. Congratulations, Zach Wilson. You're an NFL football player. Kansas City Chiefs at 1-2 at the Eagles. 1-2 Sunday, 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The game is on CBS Sports. I'm going to have the Kansas City's favored by 2 in this game. I think they'll win it by a touchdown. The Eagles are a good team, but touchdown Patrick Mahomes, they lit a fire into the back of them. The Chiefs' defense is not as great, but the key to victory, Kansas City badly needs a win after coming off a home loss to the Chargers, who are legit. The Chiefs need to get back to touchdown. Patrick Mahomes doing his thing, handing off to run to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He ran for 100 yards on a touchdown catch, but also had 2 fumbles. You can't fumble. Touchdown Jalen Hurts, he was going to be doing his thing, but while bogging down Miles Sanders in the running game, it's going to be Hurts having to run with his legs and try to get the crowd on their feet at Financial Field. It's not going to happen. I think the Chiefs come out and get at least a touchdown win. The key to winning, Kansas City badly needs to win, and their coaching's better. I mean, Andy Reid's out of the hospital, had a little slight issue, but they're going to be back. I really think it's about touchdown Patrick Mahomes in their defense. I got Kansas City winning 30-20, and touchdown Patrick Mahomes 78 of 111, 73% completion passes, 940 yards, 9 touchdowns, has 3 interceptions. That's not like him. Got to fix that. Jalen Hurts is 39 of 58, doesn't pass a lot, 67% completion, 454 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm going with Kansas City winning this one in a big way on the road. They got to get their act together. Going to fly in to Los Angeles at beautiful SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. The crowd is going nuts. They're going nuts because they don't have to sit in traffic all day. It's a Sunday 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The Rams are favored by 5.5 points. Not so fast, my friend. I do think the Rams will win it. I think the crowd will go nuts. Let's go crazy. The Cardinals get a victory. The Cardinals offense looks excellent at times, led by quarterback Kyler Murray, who's playing like an MVP. In his dual threat ability, the Rams have done a good job of keeping him bottled up. Like you can bottle up a falcon, just don't eat him. I'm gonna say this segment's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. Some people eat rams, known as lamb. Others eat falcons or cardinals. It's all fair seven war. The crowd would be amazing. But Kyler Murray's gonna try to do his thing on defense. The Rams got 3 corners going at Jalen Ramsey, Darius Williams, and they just got to figure out how to do it. Cornerback David Long Jr. in coverage is their weakest link, but Jalen Ramsey, they'll stay away from him. Wide receiver for the Rams, Cooper Kupp doing his thing, leads the NFL in receiving yards. The Cardinals bust pressure quarterback Matthew Stafford, who's now known as Touchdown Matthew Stafford because he can find his receivers, checks off his receivers. He looks low or short, medium, and long. The guy can do his thing. The Rams see the victory. The Rams are rolling on offense. The offensive line is giving Touchdown Matthew Stafford plenty of time. I think the matchup to watch, wide receiver Deandre Hopkins versus the Rams. Ramsey, what a matchup. There's no better cornerback wide receiver rivalry in the NFL than Ramsey and Hopkins. Keep that in mind. Both have played complete coming off of wins over the Buccaneers. What a game. The Rams, will they be looking past the Cardinals? I don't think so. I'm going to go with the Rams getting this win 30-25. Yeah, 30-25. That's what I'm calling 30-25. That's not a football score. It's 30-25 in my opinion. Look at the passing. If you think about it, Murray 78-102, 77% completion, 1,005 yards, 7 touchdowns, but he has 4 interceptions. I think they're going to pick him at least once in this game. You can't throw that many interceptions, and they've only played 3 games. When you get out of the pocket, that happens. Look at touchdown Matthew Stafford, 66 of 94, 70% completion, 942 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 1 interception. You'll hear more touchdown Rams in this game. It's just my opinion. I have the Rams winning that. I'm going to fly up to San Francisco, the Seattle Seahawks, and they are 1-2 at the 49ers, 2-1. It's a Sunday 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports at Levi Stadium, beautiful Levi Stadium, and they'll be saying, "Let's go 49ers." They got kicked in the butt by the Green Bay Packers and touchdown Aaron Rodgers with a field goal, 50-plus yards by Crosby as touchdown Aaron Rodgers. The 49ers had the lead at 20. It was 28 to I believe 28-27. With 37 seconds left, touchdown Aaron Rodgers came down. They kicked the winning field goal, and it was what an opening loss for the Niners. But I really think the 49ers, their key to victory. Seattle desperately needs a bounce-back game after suffering their loss to the Vikings. And the 49ers, it all started up front. They can't keep falling behind. They cannot keep falling behind. They were down 17-0 to Green Bay. You can't do that against touchdown Russell Wilson. Defensive end Kerry Hyder and defensive end Carlos Dunlap. And the rest of the D-line can force 49ers quarterback Jimmy G to make throws under pressure. Kittles will be ready for this game. I know he had some extra time to get healed up, so the crowd loves the news that Kittles will be starting in this game for the 49ers. I think the matchup to watch, Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead get after touchdown Russell Houdini Wilson. DK Metcalf is going to be a key receiver you got to find DK Metcalf to get behind the secondary for the 49ers because last week, Aaron Rodgers ate him up. It was like playing catch at Levi Stadium. The defense for the 49ers has to play better, but I'm going to go with the 49ers. I don't see them losing 2 in a row. Their defense is too good. The key matchup for the 49ers, Metcalf versus 49ers cornerback Emmanuel Mosley. DK Metcalf is legit. Mosley is the 49ers top cornerback. He had a little bit of success against Metcalf the last time they played. The Seahawks receivers off to a monster start. However, slowing them down is going to be a tall task. It's the biggest game of the year, and the Seattle team is healthier. I think the 49ers, with Kittles coming back, that's going to give them the slight edge. It's going to be a close game neck and neck. I have the 49ers winning this one 30-27. At home, 49ers 30-27, Levi Stadium. They said bang, bang, 9 a game. Come on, guys. Bang, bang, 9 a game. It's all fair in love and war. I'm going to go to another game that's going to be so important. Baltimore Ravens 2-1 at the Denver Broncos. Baltimore 2-1, Denver 3-0. Sunday 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time at Empower Field at Mile High Stadium on CBS Sports. And Denver's favored by 1.5. Oh, not so fast, my friend. Superman Jackson legit. I'm going to say the key to this game, the Broncos are tough to beat at Mile High, but they've yet to face a true test. Their teams that they beat are all winless. Their first 3 opponents 0-9 combined. Baltimore is going to be eager to hand Denver his first loss of the season. I think as far as Superman Jackson should not try to beat the Broncos through the air. Run the ball. J.K. Dobbins is out. You have Gus Edwards, Justice Hill. Baltimore still has one of the most productive rushing attacks in the NFL. I think the keys to victory, touchdown Teddy Bridgewater. Melvin Gordon III, you got to give him the rock. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, got to make good plays. In the end, I trust Superman Jackson to come in and quiet that crowd and give Denver their first loss, in my opinion. Another game, the Pittsburgh Steelers 1-2. I'm going to say Ravens 27-23. That's my opinion. Another big game. The Steelers 1-2 with the Packers 2-1. Sunday 4:25 p.m. kickoff. East Coast time at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The crowd should be going nuts. Seeing touchdown, Aaron Rodgers being happy again. And the Packers are favored by 6.5. The key to victory for the Steelers, they got to force Green Bay into thinking they're playing week 1. That's the only way. The Packers back. Those good old boys are amazing. Touchdown, Aaron Rodgers. Outside, without outside linebacker T.J. Watt, groin injury, Steelers have no chance. Big Ben Roethlisberger, he's been sacked 4 times, averaged 5 yards passing. I don't see them being mobile. Najee Harris is going to have to run the ball a lot against the Green Bay Packers defense. Good luck. Lambeau will be going nuts. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, that guy can catch anything with his eyes closed. The defense is still finding its way, but turnovers can smooth out everything. The matchup, watch the Steelers Harris versus Packers linebacker Deandre Campbell, making sure Harris touches remain inefficient. I think the Packers are too tough on defense. I see how they're riding high for the win over the 49ers at Levi Stadium. I'm going to go Green Bay 30, Pittsburgh 21. They just can't score in Pittsburgh. I'm going to bring it to the game of the week. Tom Brady returns to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and the crowd will give him a standing ovation. The Buccaneers are 2-1, defending Super Bowl champions 2-1 at the Patriots. 1-2 is a Sunday 8:20 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on NBC Sports. And the Buccaneers are favored by 6.5. This game's not going to be that close, guys. It's just my opinion. The Buccaneers, key to victory. They know Bill Belichick's defense is well enough. Give Tom Brady time, and you're going to have the Buccaneers coming and win. They're still upset about their loss to the Rams, but Tom Brady is coming back home. Gronkowski's coming back home. The key to victory for the Patriots. Brady knows Belichick. Belichick knows Brady, but Belichick doesn't play. Jones is on and over his head. I think the matchup with Buccaneers, Brady versus Patriots, Belichick, they worked together for 20 years and won 6 Super Bowls together. Their time apart will further establish their legacies, yet this is a matter of the better team. The Buccaneers will win. They'll build a quick lead. It's going to force Jones to take more risks he's not ready for. And I know the 6.5-point spread, and the crowd may just give Brady a standing ovation, but at the end, it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rolling in this game. They're going to win 38-20, in my opinion, at Gillette Stadium. Brady's too good. And Antonio Brown's going to catch some passes. Gronkowski's going to catch some passes. I really like the way the Bucs defense should hone in on running back Damien Harris. I think that Tampa's just a better team. And all the emotion, Brady's going to block it out. They're going to cheer him in first. At the end of the day, it's going to be all Tampa, in my opinion. On the season, Brady is 97-141, 1,087 yards, completes 69% of his passes, has 10 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. That good a boy can play football. You got to know that he's looking forward to letting everybody know that I still wanted to be here. But they wanted him gone. All fair in love and war. And then Jones, 81 of 120, 67 completion percentage. He has 737 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They're going to pick him 2 more times in this game. Just my opinion. And Tampa Bay gets the win. Going to run one more game for you. We got Monday Night Football. The Raiders 3-0 at the Chargers 2-1. Monday 8:15 p.m. kickoff. SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California on ESPN. The Chargers are favored by 3. I don't want to do this game any disjustice because I want to talk about it more on Monday. So I'm going to just end today's show. The Raiders at the Chargers. I'm going to give it its due for Monday, but I am going to tell you it should be a great game. The Raiders will have more fans than the Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He's known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, what do you do with all those exotic meats? You got to float like a butterfly. You got to sting like a bee. You got to rumble, young man, rumble. Ali says the reason I eat so many exotic meats is because I'm pretty, I'm handsome, and I can't possibly be beat with all these exotic meats. I'm going to float like a butterfly. I'm going to sting like a bee. Because of all these exotic meats, I'm going to rumble, young man, rumble. With all I've got to use, how can I lose? As my beautiful mama always says, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or children going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. As we always tell you on every Big City Sports Show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day. Pay attention to all that's going on in Major League Baseball. Watch the Giants and watch the Dodgers, as the Dodgers have a 2-game deficit to the San Francisco Giants. I'm getting my World Series passes for the Giants. Yes, Giants, I'm getting my World Series passes for Big City Sports. Everybody have a safe and fabulous, prosperous weekend. And as we always say, let's get ready to rumble. We thank you. We appreciate you. And we hope that you have a super fantastic weekend.